You've been grinding for months, maybe years. You've been saying no to happy hours, meal prepping instead of ordering takeout, driving that beater car for just one more year. And then it happens. You check your savings account and see it. $20,000. $20,000. For the first time in your adult life, you've got 5 figures sitting there. You screenshot it, you stare at it, you feel like you just unlocked some secret level of adulting that nobody told you about. But here's what's weird. The next morning, you wake up and you're the same person, same job, same apartment, same anxiety about money. You thought hitting $20,000 would feel different, but instead you're already thinking, okay, now I need to get to $30,000. What you don't realize is that you just crossed the most important financial threshold of your life, and most people completely miss what it actually means. My name is Indy, and I spend way too much time thinking about the specific dollar amounts where your entire financial psychology shifts. If you're someone who's either trying to save your first $20,000 or you recently hit it and you're wondering now what, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, there's this thing that happens at $20,000 that nobody talks about, and I mean nobody. Not your parents, not your financial advisor, not those personal finance gurus on Instagram telling you to invest in index funds. $20,000 is the exact point where money stops being about survival and starts being about leverage. Here's what I mean. When you have $1,000 saved, that money is defensive. It's, oh God, my car just broke down money. When you have $5,000, you're still playing defense. You've got maybe 2 months of expenses covered if something goes wrong. Even at $10,000, you're basically just a more cushioned version of broke. But $20,000? $20,000 is the point where you can start playing offense, and most people have no idea how to make that shift. Let me show you the math that explains why this number is so critical. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 Survey of Household Economics, the median American has about $5,300 in savings. The median. That means half of all Americans have less than that. So if you've got $20,000 saved, you're already in the top 25% of savers in this country. But here's where it gets really interesting. That same study found that 37% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. $377. Think about that. Over 1/3 of the country is one car repair away from going into debt. When you have $20,000, you are operating in a completely different financial reality than the majority of people around you. But, and this is the crucial part, most people who reach this milestone continue operating like they're still in survival mode. Let me break down what $20,000 actually represents in terms of financial options, because this is where people's brains just completely short-circuit. If you're spending $3,000 a month to live, rent, food, transportation, everything, $20,000 is 6.6 months of life. 6.5 months where you could theoretically live without earning a single dollar. That's not just an emergency fund, that's a decision fund.
But let's get more specific. Here's what $20,000 can actually do. Option A, you could quit your job and spend 3 months learning a new skill that gets you into a higher paying career while still having $11,000 left over as a buffer. Option B, you could use $5,000 as a down payment to buy a reliable used car, which saves you $200 a month in Uber costs and repair bills, which is $2,400 a year, which means that car pays for itself in just over 2 years. Option C, you could invest $15,000 in a boring index fund, keep $5,000 as your emergency fund, and if that investment grows at 7% annually, it becomes $58,000 in 20 years without you adding another dollar. Option D, you could use $10,000 to move to a city with better job opportunities, which increases your earning potential by $15,000 a year, which means you make back your investment in 8 months. See what I mean? At $1,000, your options are fix my car or go into debt. At $20,000, your options are change my entire life trajectory in multiple different directions. Here's the thing that frustrates me. Most people hit $20,000 and they just keep doing what they were doing. They keep living like they're broke because they've spent so long being broke that it's become their identity. There's this concept in psychology called learned helplessness, where if you've been in a powerless situation for long enough, you continue to act powerless even after the situation changes. And I see this constantly with people who finally accumulate real savings. They've got $20,000 in the bank, but they're still staying in a job they hate because it's stable, living in an expensive city with no career opportunities because moving is risky, driving a car that costs them $300 a month in repairs because buying a car is a huge commitment, avoiding any investment because what if the market crashes?
They've optimized their entire life around not losing money instead of using money as a tool for growth. And look, I get it. If you grew up without money, or if you've been in debt, or if you've ever had your bank account hit zero, the idea of spending $10,000 on anything feels absolutely terrifying. Your nervous system is screaming, save it, protect it, don't touch it. But here's what most people don't realize. The purpose of saving money isn't to have money sitting in an account. The purpose of saving money is to buy yourself options, and options are only valuable if you actually use them.
This is where it gets really interesting. There's this concept I think about a lot called financial velocity. It's not a real economic term, I kind of made it up, but stick with me. Financial velocity is the speed at which money creates more opportunities, which create more money, which create more opportunities. And $20,000 is the exact amount where velocity starts to matter. Let me give you a real example. I know someone, we'll call him Marcus, who saved up $22,000 working in retail management. He was 28, living with roommates, making $45,000 a year. He was proud of that $22,000. He should have been. That's disciplined saving. But Marcus was stuck. He wanted to get into tech, but he didn't have the skills. He looked at boot camps, but they cost $15,000 and they were full-time, which meant he couldn't work. Marcus sat on that $22,000 for 2 years. 2 years, because he was too scared to spend it. He kept thinking, what if I do the boot camp and I can't find a job? Then I'm broke and unemployed. Eventually, he did the boot camp, used $15,000 for tuition, lived off $7,000 for 3 months while he job hunted. 6 months after the boot camp ended, he got a job making $85,000 a year. That $15,000 investment increased his annual income by $40,000. That's a 267% return in 1 year. Show me an index fund that does that. But here's the thing that kills me. Marcus wasted 2 years being scared. 2 years where he could have been earning that extra $40,000. That's $80,000 in lost income because he didn't understand that $20,000 isn't meant to sit there and make you feel safe. It's meant to be deployed strategically to change your circumstances. All right, let me break down how I think about money in 3 distinct zones, because this is crucial for understanding why $20,000 is so important. Zone 1, survival money, $0 to $10,000. This is pure defense. This is keep the lights on money. Every dollar in this zone is about reducing risk and avoiding catastrophe. You're not thinking about growth, you're thinking about not drowning. In this zone, your financial decisions are binary. Can I afford this or not? And the answer is usually not. You're playing not to lose. Zone 2, transition money, $10,000 to $50,000. This is where most people completely fumble the bag. This is the zone where you have enough money to make a significant change in your life, but not enough money to just coast. This is the most psychologically challenging zone because you're not broke, but you're not comfortable. You have to make real decisions about trade-offs. You have to think strategically instead of reactively. $20,000 sits right in the middle of this zone. It's enough to be dangerous in the best way possible. Zone 3, momentum money, $50,000 plus. This is where money starts making money. This is where compound interest actually starts to matter. This is where you can take calculated risks because you've got enough of a cushion that one bet doesn't destroy you. But here's the thing nobody tells you.
You can't get to Zone 3 by treating Zone 2 money like Zone 1 money. You have to take risks in Zone 2. You have to invest in yourself. You have to be strategic. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Indy, but what if I spend that money and it doesn't work out? What if I invest in myself and I fail? At least if I keep it in savings, I still have it. And that's exactly the mindset that keeps people stuck. Let me introduce you to a concept that's going to change how you think about money: opportunity cost. You know what it is in theory, but you're not actually calculating it. Every dollar you have sitting in a savings account earning 4% interest is a dollar that's not invested in learning a skill that could double your income, used to move to a city with 3x the job opportunities, deployed to start a side business that could eventually replace your main income, leveraged to buy an asset that appreciates or generates cash flow. Let's do the real math on this. Say you keep $20,000 in a high-yield savings account at 4% APY. In 5 years, you'll have $24,333. Congratulations, you made $4,333. That's $866 a year. That's $72 a month. Now, let's say you use $12,000 of that money to invest in a career transition that increases your salary from $50,000 to $70,000. That's $20,000 more per year. In 5 years, that's $100,000 in additional earnings, minus the $12,000 investment. Net benefit, $88,000. The opportunity cost of not investing in yourself is $83,667 over 5 years. But we don't think about it that way, do we? We think if I spend this money, I lose it. We don't think if I don't spend this money strategically, I'm losing multiples of this amount in future earnings. Look, I'm not telling you to blow your savings on some risky investment or quit your job tomorrow. What I'm saying is that $20,000 is enough to make strategic bets on yourself. And here's how you should be thinking about it. Strategy 1, the career accelerator. If you're in a low-paying field or you're stuck at a career plateau, $20,000 is enough to completely change trajectories. Boot camps, certifications, online degrees, unpaid internships while you live off savings. These are all on the table now. The return on investment here is insane if you pick the right skill. Going from $40,000 to $80,000 because you learned how to code or do data analysis or became a licensed electrician, that's a 100% raise that pays you back forever. Strategy 2, the geographic arbitrage. $20,000 is enough to move anywhere in the country and establish yourself. If you're in a small town with limited opportunities, you could move to a major metro area where the same job pays 40% more. I know people who are making $50,000 in Cincinnati, moved to Denver with $15,000 in savings, and within a year were making $75,000 doing the same work. The cost of living was higher, sure, but not 50% higher. They came out way ahead. Strategy 3, the side business investment. You could start a legitimate business with $20,000. I'm not talking about some dropshipping scheme or crypto thing. I'm talking about a real service business, a consulting practice, an e-commerce brand with actual inventory. Will it work? Maybe not. But if you structure it right and you're solving a real problem, you've got a real shot at building something that could eventually replace your W-2 income. Strategy 4, the asset acquisition. This is the most boring but potentially most impactful. $20,000 is enough for a down payment on a house in many markets, or to buy a reliable car that stops bleeding you dry on repairs, or to invest in equipment that lets you start freelancing. These aren't exciting, but a $20,000 down payment on a $200,000 house that appreciates 4% a year is $8,000 in year 1 equity gain, plus whatever you're paying down in principal. That's already better than letting it sit in savings. Here's where I'm going to get a little philosophical on you. The difference between people who build wealth and people who stay stuck isn't usually about how much money they make. It's about how they think about money. When you have $20,000, you're at a fork in the road. Path A, you can treat it like a bigger emergency fund and continue living your life exactly as you have been, just with less financial anxiety. Path B, you can treat it like seed capital for building the life you actually want. Most people choose Path A because it feels safer. And you know what? Their lives don't change. They're in the same job, same city, same income bracket 5 years later. They've just got $30,000 in savings instead of $20,000. The people who choose Path B, some of them fail. Some of them blow that money on a business idea that doesn't work or a career change that doesn't pan out. But a significant percentage of them end up in completely different circumstances 5 years later. Better job, higher income, more opportunities. Here's what most people don't realize. At this level of savings, the risk of doing nothing is actually higher than the risk of doing something strategic. Because here's what happens when you sit on $20,000 for years. You get comfortable. You get risk-averse. The longer you have it, the harder it becomes to spend it. I've seen people with $50,000 in savings who are more paralyzed by financial decisions than people with $5,000 because they've got more to lose. You develop what I call fortress mentality, where your entire financial strategy is just building higher walls around your money instead of using that money to build a better life. All right, let's make this tactical. If you've got $20,000 saved up or you're close to it, here's the exact framework I want you to use. Step 1, secure your base. Keep $5,000 to $8,000 as a true emergency fund. This is your don't touch this unless something breaks or someone gets sick money. This stays in a high-yield savings account. This is non-negotiable. Step 2, identify your constraint. What is the one thing holding you back from earning more or living better? Be honest. Is it your skill set, your location, your lack of reliable transportation, your network, your credentials? Write it down. Be specific. Step 3, calculate the investment. How much would it cost to remove that constraint? $10,000 for a boot camp? $15,000 to move cities? $8,000 to buy a car? $5,000 to go back and finish your degree? Get real numbers. Don't guess. Step 4, project the return. If you remove this constraint, what changes? How much more could you earn? What opportunities open up? Be realistic, but also be honest about the upside. If the answer is, my income increases by $15,000 per year, that's a no-brainer investment. Step 5, make the bet. This is the hard part. You have to actually do it. You have to move the money from safety to investment in myself. And you have to be okay with the possibility that it might not work out exactly as planned. But here's the thing. Even if it doesn't work out perfectly, you'll learn something. You'll build skills. You'll expand your network. You'll develop resilience. The only way you truly lose is if you do nothing. Look, here's the truth that's going to make some people uncomfortable. The financial advice you get when you're broke is terrible advice when you have $20,000. When you have $1,000, save every penny is good advice. When you have $20,000, save every penny is the advice that keeps you stuck. When you have $5,000, don't take risks makes sense. When you have $20,000, don't take risks means you're not taking advantage of the exact reason you saved the money in the first place. The rules change. The strategy changes. The mindset has to change. And this is where most people fail. They finally accumulate real money, and then they keep following the rules that were designed for people who are broke. It's like training for a marathon and then never actually running the race. There's this study from the Journal of Consumer Research in 2019 that found that people with savings between $15,000 and $30,000 report the same levels of financial stress as people with savings between $5,000 and $10,000. Think about that. Triple the money, same stress. You know why? Because they haven't changed their relationship with money. They're still in scarcity mode, even though they've escaped scarcity. So here's what I want you to understand. $20,000 isn't just a number. It's a threshold. It's the point where you transition from surviving to building, from defending to advancing, from reacting to creating. But that transition only happens if you make it happen. The money itself doesn't change anything. Your willingness to deploy that money strategically is what changes everything. Stop thinking of savings as the goal. Start thinking of savings as the tool you use to build the life you actually want. You didn't save $20,000 just to look at it in your bank account and feel temporarily less anxious. You saved it so you could make a move, so you could invest in yourself, so you could take a calculated risk that changes your trajectory. The question isn't, what if I spend this money and fail? The question is, what if I don't spend this money and I'm in the exact same place 5 years from now? That's the real risk. If this hit home, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and let me know what you'd do with $20,000 right now if you had to use it strategically. I'm genuinely curious. And if you know someone who's sitting on savings but they're too scared to make a move, send them this video. Until next time, stop hoarding and start building.